Yeah, you know who's talking about? He's talking about you and I. He's talking about the white people who live in rural counties, the people who are Trump supporters, the MAGA people. That's who he's talking about. And these guys wrote a book on this hatred of us, our people, the patriot types, the ones that they're accusing of everything that. Wait a minute, they do. It's kind of projection, isn't it? Same idea in psychology. It's like when you blame somebody else, right, for something that's typically something you're doing. Yeah, it's kind of what's going on here. It's interesting when you watch mainstream media, especially when you look at the other side, right? Because we're so used to looking at our own media, but sometimes it helps to look at the other side, look at what the other media is talking about and the way they're framing things. And you can see why the wall is so difficult sometimes to breach when you have people on the other side who don't believe what we believe. And by the way, I love when they say QAnon because there ain't no such thing as QAnon. Clearly, they don't know what they're talking about, right? There's Q and then there's Anons, but the two are not, they can't be matched together because it's not the same thing. So any of us who know, in this world and we understand what's going on, we understand, that we're not all these things that this guy laid out. We're anything other than mainstream media. Right? The Mockingbird media, the programming. Call it a program for a reason. They're programming people. They're programming people to hate, people who really care about this country and really want to see this country be really strong and be a superpower again. So we're going to talk about a lot. I got up this morning thinking, well, Fridays are always an interesting day in the news, right? There's always stuff that comes out on Fridays and you look at it and you go, okay, there's a lot of stuff they want to bury. They want to not have a long news cycle. So they'll bury it on a Friday. It'll go away. And I got up this morning and I turned on Steve Bannon's show, listening to that. And there was just an avalanche of information. Now, I can't even get to all of it. Now, it's not normal. Normally, I can get through a lot of stories, read through 100 plus stories a day in preparation for the shows. I couldn't get to it all today. There was so much, and more is still coming out. There's some good news. There's some crazy news. There's some news that I didn't know about, and maybe you didn't either. I'm going to share that with you today. And, starting to dig through everything that's going on. March is a crazy month, and we've been told, maybe we've been warned, maybe we've been advised to expect something to happen in March. Well, if day one is any indication, we're certainly moving in that direction. There's certainly a lot going on. There's pieces flying in all different directions here. And it's really interesting, from our perspective to be able to watch it. However, we have to be prepared as well. I mentioned in my email this week, I said, there's no downside to being prepared. And that's the truth. There is no downside to being prepared. The downside is not being prepared. If you're prepared and you don't need to be prepared, so what? You'll use up whatever you bought to prepare yourself at some point later in time. The challenge comes is when something happens, the internet gets shut down, the banking systems are not working, we have civil unrest, and you're not prepared for it, then you're going to suffer. So the question then is for you is okay, what do I need to do to prepare myself? Because things are getting turbulent. And I think it's almost 100% now across the board of people in my position on our side are saying March, April is going to be really turbulent. It's going to be really tough. We're going to see some things that will shock even all of us that are paying attention, eyes open, head up, right? We're going to get shocked by some of this stuff. So a lot going on. And we'll dig into it. Lewis will be joining us in about 20 minutes or so. He's got a few things on his plate today. But I wanted to get started. I want to talk about what do we normally do on Fridays? What's the thing we all start with? Pop quiz, guys. Let's see if you listen to the Friday show, right? So we always talk about Terrible 808 on X, a great account to follow. I don't make anything for saying that, but she's just a great account to follow. And she puts out a list every Friday of the top 10 stories that the mainstream media pretty much ignored. Many of them we've already talked about here, many others that we probably should be talking about, but we try to keep the show under 2 hours, right? We want to keep it a little short. So there's a lot going on. So we'll dig into the list. I think we'll get started with that, and then we'll play some, stuff that's going on at the border that was very surprising. You know, you were with us yesterday. You saw a lot of talk about the border and what's going on for people who have eyes on what's going on there. Forget about what you're hearing in the what I call the drive-by media, right? There's a lot of media that does not really pay much attention to anything other than, oh, just the headlines. That's enough. We want to go beyond the headline. We want to dig in a little bit deeper. So we're going to do that today. We're going to give you a little bit more texture, context, if you will, of what's going on at the border, because it answers a question that I have had for a long time, and had no idea what the answer was going to be. I was kind of surprised by it. So we'll wait when Lewis comes on. We'll have his input on that too. I think that's going to be really important. So number 10, Salesforce CEO is quietly buying up land in Hawaii. Another very wealthy billionaire, right? Salesforce is no small company if you're in business of any kind. Salesforce is one of the, software applications that a lot of companies use. We don't use it, but a lot of companies use it. So Salesforce, major player. And the CEO is quietly buying up land in Hawaii. Now, I have a customer here who is from Hawaii. Born and raised, and now lives here in California, but flies back to Hawaii frequently. She stopped by last week, and I had a conversation with her. And I asked her, I said, what's going on in Maui, in Lahaina, specifically? So she went to Lahaina a week and a half ago. And I said, I see fencing up all over the place. She says, yep. And I said, tell me, what is the reasoning that people are given for that fence to be up and people not being allowed to go in? And she says, here's the reason. Here's what they're saying to people. They're saying they can't go in because people's possessions are there and they're afraid they're going to get stolen. Guys, the fire was back in August. Anything that's outside, anything that's burned, anything, you know what I mean? It's trash now anyway. So that's not real. I said, that's not real, right? She goes, no, not at all. That's not why they don't want to let you in. So I asked her, I said, how are the people doing? She says, many have left because the business they either had or the company they work for, the business they work for, doesn't exist anymore. So they left the area. Some have left and come to the mainland. Some have gone to other parts of Hawaii, but they're not there anymore. And I said, what about the people who are still there? And she said, well, they're not getting a whole lot of help. They're living in tents. The government's putting up more tents, but we don't know what they're for. I'm like, well, that's kind of curious. So that whole thing, that whole Maui thing still doesn't make any sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just out there. It's not very clear on what is exactly going on. We just know it's not what they're telling us. That much we know. So now we have this Salesforce CEO going and buying up land. Didn't we tell you early on that one of the reasons that this happened was to free up that land because those people would never leave? Generation after generation after generation, they stay there, right? There's multi-generations of families that have been in that area. So how do you get them out? Well, you burn them out, right? And you impoverish them. Make it so they can't earn a living. Make it so there's not enough food. Make it so, the living conditions are so horrid, they'd rather live anywhere but there. And it seems like that's what's playing out. So now you have people coming in and buying up that land. They're actually, looking at, what is going on, and they're not getting the full information. Their government is not telling them what's really going on. You can imagine being in Lahaina and understanding that your government's lying to you at the level they're lying. You could see what's going on to some extent, and the frustration builds. And we still don't know what happened to all the kids. Still don't have any information about that. So that story continues to unfold, and we'll continue to bring you updates when we get them. We don't get a whole lot, like you can imagine. There's not a whole lot going on over there that's coming out in media, but we'll bring you what we can when we can. Boy, oh boy, that's a story. Okay. Number 9. I can actually play a video on this one. Now, I'm not telling you anything you didn't already know. You and I probably on the same page, probably November 4th of 2020, when we woke up and we saw that they installed, it was stolen. You open your eyes. It's really not hard. And there are people who still don't believe it. They still believe we're crazy for saying that. But I mean, common sense, right? You don't need to be a rocket scientist to recognize that a guy who does a rally and gets 50,000 people is beating the guy who does a rally who gets 12. Not hard to figure that out. Kind of crazy. So yeah, this is really nice to see that, we continue with the disclosure, we continue bringing stuff forward, and Tucker Carlson gets a few views, right? On X, his show gets viewed quite a bit. So we're looking at finally getting that message out by someone that a lot of people out there respect. Not everyone respects Tucker Carlson. Oh, he's right wing, he's whatever. The majority of people who watch him, they're generally speaking on our side, not shocked by this, but it's good to see, right? We talked about, last year being the year of disclosure, and now we're moving into a year of retribution, right? And I think that's really what we're going to start to see. We're going to see a lot of that, a lot of these people being taken down. And if you look at these court cases against Trump, good example, right? They're starting to fall apart all over the place. So it's interesting to keep an eye on that and to pay attention to what is really happening. So I'm excited to see that. I want to see more people, having the guts to come out in public and say 2020 was stolen. It's important that we continue that, because if you look at the narrative on the other side, right, you may ask yourself this question: how in the world how do people believe that Joe Biden was legitimately elected? And the answer is the media. They keep repeating the lie over and over again with enough authority and enough repetition and total belief and conviction about it that eventually, even if you didn't believe it or weren't sure, you hear it enough times, you start to go, well, I guess it was true. I guess that is what happened. And you can look at people, when you look them in the eye and you start having these conversations with them, you can look at how indoctrinated they are. Not necessarily their fault. I don't get mad at them anymore. I used to, but I've learned it's like, well, you guys were just hypnotized into this, right? You were indoctrinated into that thinking. Doesn't make you a bad person. We're indoctrinated in stuff too. If you look at some of the things we believe, some of it, yeah, maybe it is indoctrination a little bit. But we're smart enough at least to question the narrative. And if you do that, you start finding out answers. And this is what we need to do, is just, all I do with the people on the other side who are like that, I just ask questions and I shut up. I let them tell me their beliefs. I let them tell me their reasoning for their beliefs. And you'll find very quickly they run out of things to share. Why? Because their beliefs are very surface. I heard it on CNN. It's not a reason. Did you look into it? Did you ask any questions, or you just take it whole cloth what they said to be the truth? Oh, I just, they're reputable. So, I just take what they say. Oh, poor you. Poor you. Right? None of us here do that. We're all question the stuff that's put out. The reason we're here is because we're questioning it. And we continue to question it day after day. That's why we're in the position we're in. We're more educated. We're more alert, more aware of what's going on. And believe me, they want to shut down people like us who are questioning it. We are a major problem to them. Hard to keep the narrative going. When they put a narrative out there and, our side, we debunk it within hours or even quicker sometimes. We debunk it as it's coming out of their mouth, right? They don't like that. But that's not going to stop us. We're going to continue doing it. Okay. Number 8, Google loses over, it says 70 billion here, but it's over $100 billion already in market value after Gemini AI was exposed as being not just woke. It says woke here on the list. I'm going to say ultra woke. Give me a picture of the founding fathers. He's a black Chinese guy. What now? Not even close, right? So it was so far off the rails. People were asking it all kinds of questions and getting all these woke answers. It's just to the point where the investors know. Where if you know anything about the stock market's not based on what's happening or what has happened. The stock market pricing is based on what the investors believe will happen. It's always about the future, right? If there's a positive outlook on the future, stock goes up. Negative outlook on the future, stock goes down. So what are the investors telling us? They're telling us this Gemini AI that Google put out I think he used to be called Bard or something like that. Maybe not. Maybe this was the first name they had for it. I may be getting things mixed up. Gemini AI, they're looking at that, and Google was like all in on their AI, and they were going to make oodles of money, and the stock went up and then they released it, and the investors looked at that and saw the massive pushback from people like us. We saw it and we say, hey, no way do we want to woke AI. No way. Hey, Gemini, what's a woman? Oh, that's a complicated subject. I can't answer that. What do you mean you can't answer that? Simplest question in the world, biology 101, right? I learned that in 6th grade. So the pushback works. Now you might say, well, Rob, how are we going to make a difference? Well, this is how we're making a difference, right? Our voices as a collective have an impact. So you say, I'm a digital warrior. I don't want to go out there. I don't want to do blah, 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 blah. Okay, good. You're a digital warrior. Great. Start sharing. Make sure you're commenting. Make sure you're liking, right? Because what does that do? That informs the algorithms on any of these social networks. It informs them that this topic is valuable or worthy sharing. So that's what we need to do. We need to do it because look what happened here. The investors saw Gemini AI. People hated it. And Google's market value went down by, a small $100 billion. Hey, that's not too bad. Losing $100 billion in market value? Boy, you got to think about that. That's pretty intense. Look who's joined us. Woohoo! Hello, sir.
Who is that guy?
Who is that? I don't know that guy. Where'd he come from? Let me put your volume up a little bit so people can hear you.
Better?
Better. Much better.
Good. I bet you can hear me better if you can see the shirt, right? There you go.
Yeah, Screw Big Gov. There you go. Love it.
Ay. How are you doing, Robert? I wish I was watching the first 20 minutes, but as you know, I've been taking care of business in the background.
Yep.
So.
Always taking care of business, which is fantastic. Yeah, I am doing well, and just sort of telling everyone how rattling March is coming in. It's coming in like a lion. There's no question. There's a lot of stuff being shaken from the trees these days, and or today, I should say, because it's just. I was telling them I started out this morning tuning into Bannon's show, and it was just an avalanche of information this morning. He goes, "We're not going to cover it all." I'm like, "Yeah, I could see that." And then I got into the office here and started to dig into the news, and it's like, yeah, if I don't want to do a 4-hour show today, what can I cover? What shouldn't I cover? Because there's so much going on.
Yeah, I had 5 people last night late sending me news after news after news after news, and it was hard because I was in the middle of organizing something for Patriots, and so. But I'm trying to, you have to serve many masters at one time, and that's what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I said about Bruce. Bruce is serving another master today because a company that he works with was in trouble. And, Bruce and I tend to be that kind of person to pull people out of the fire. So it was his turn to do that today.
That's awesome.
It's okay. We're going down the top 10
And here I am
list.
pulling you guys out of the fire.
Yeah, you are here holding up the fort. Keeping me from being the monologue guy here all day.
I know, I get it. And I have no idea what you're covering, by the way, guys, just so you know. I'm unprepared, which is phenomenal, so this will be fun. It's just color commentary, I guess. But there is a lot going on, folks. more than you know. And I'm not trying to be secretive or anything, but there's many things that we're working on in the background that if you give away the plan, it's torched, right? So you can't. But I can tell you, everything that I work on is for we the people. In fact, I've enlightened Robert on this. Over this weekend, I'll probably have a battle with somebody I would consider a gray hat. And we'll see how that goes. Because we need to get stuff going. People are saying, still hoping they'll talk about the Michelle Mickey Klon America. I know everything about that, by the way. Yep. I've posted about it. And maybe ask a specific question, Unicorn, and we'll see if we can address it, because I've addressed it on my channel. I've addressed it on the news. I've been in talks with Mickey, the leaders, everybody. Well, I haven't actually. I was in a text with Mickey, but the other people I've been on the phone with day and night regarding this stuff. So I'm heavily involved there, so I know exactly what's going on. But you have to ask a specific question. I can't just do a monologue on that.
Yeah. So we just talked about Google's Gemini AI. They've lost $100 billion in market cap, and that was number 8. Number 7 is Mayor of Athens, Georgia, says Laken Riley's happened,
Lord,
right?
that's funny. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He
Well,
won't mention her
good
name.
thing.
Biden will not mention her name. Laken Riley.
Okay, of course.
Yeah.
She won't. He
He
won't.
won't.
There's no way he
Yeah.
will.
Well,
Yeah.
it goes
He's
against the narrative.
he's too busy telling people that he's sending a food drop to Ukraine.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. It was Gaza.
Don't get me
Oh,
started on Gaza. I had watched that video yesterday. I'm like, oh boy. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about there. Anyway, this one is interesting because Trump spent a lot of time yesterday at the border talking about Laken Riley and talking about that whole thing. And there was a news clip from mainstream media today that Bannon had played. I didn't capture it, but he had played it, and I think it was Joy-Ann Reid, MSNBC, and she was saying that there is no violence or crimes being committed by the illegals. It's the whites, the Americans, who are attacking the illegals. Huh?
of course. That's
Huh?
exactly what's going on down there. Yeah, I was there. That's exactly what these people are crazy.
It's the
It's
narrative flip. It's completely 180 of what it is in reality, and
right.
people can see it. And yet here you are. If you watch an MSNBC, you're being told that you're the white guy. You're the problem because you keep attacking the illegals. The illegals are here. They're peaceful. Oh, now we
Wow.
can't say illegals anymore. We can't say migrants. You know what they want us to
No,
say?
what? Can't even say
Newcomers.
undocumented.
They're the
What are they? Newcomer
newcomers.
or cucumbers?
Newcomers means they're
Wow.
not leaving. They're
Yes,
newcomers. They're
absolutely. That
here.
means they're staying.
That means
That's
they're going to
right.
stay.
Wow. What manipulation. This is hilarious.
Yeah, and I
Hey,
think that's what
before you
this.
go on, I just want to make sure don't start another story because I have to address more Maricopa County. I'm watching the comments are flying through chat and they don't have a clue what's going on. So I'm going to have to set everybody straight here.
Okay,
So
you want to
I
jump in
don't
and
mean
do
to.
that?
Oh, you want to do it now? Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we didn't hop into another story
Yeah, I'll
because
hop. I'll
I
hop
don't like people.
after you do. I'll give you the screen, my friend.
Thank you. I just don't like people to get in the wrong idea. So, what happened in Maricopa County was awesome, but it's completely out of context what people think was going on there. So I'm going to set the record straight here. Um, I can tell you that the two leaders that were doing the work, they're two of the main leaders and a third leader. I'm good friends with two of them, and the third of them I know pretty well. So there's been warriors. I want everybody to get this straight. There's been warriors in Maricopa County kicking ass and taking names for over a year. Over a year. They've been working their asses off and strategically getting the board of supervisors to a point where they couldn't handle them anymore. Okay. I I noticed that it was coming to a crescendo, and I thought it would be a good idea that I put two people together. So I put together Leslie Shepard and Mickey Claude, right? So Mickey ended up writing a wonderful writ, right? With the help of the affidavit mamas and a whole bunch of other people. There were 12 people involved, by the way, in getting this thing done. So what happened is um, they did not get served there. That's a misnomer. So let me state the record properly. We knew ahead of time that, in fact, I was on a I won't say it's secret. I'll say a private meeting on Monday. We knew ahead of time that Jack Sellers, who is the head of the Board of Supervisors in Maricopa County, we knew that he was going to try to escape the meeting early because he had an 11:30 meeting with people associated with the World Economic Forum. and the 15-minute cities proposal in Phoenix. We knew he was going to try to escape. Okay. So there was a strategy that was set in place beforehand. They had conversations. They did exactly what they should do. Mickey Klon assisted by with this writ, which was an awesome writ. Some people say an affidavit. It's kind of a combination of both, right? And it was phenomenal. What happened is one person, we scheduled a certain strategy, which I will not divulge here, on how you approach a board of supervisors. In fact, it looks like I'll be helping many patriot movements across the country in the coming weeks doing something similar. There's a specific set strategy. I've kind of indicated a little bit of it when we did our boot camps where we traveled the country. So this is phenomenal. So they did a specific strategy. Okay. They did a phenomenal job. I was not there. And then what happened is they went to continue, and one lady decided she did not want to speak. She wanted to hand over her time to somebody else, which, by the way, is okay. And there is no rule against it within the code of conduct within the Board of Supervisors meeting. There's none. That's when they refused to do it. They said, nope, you can't do it. And they started to put their foot down, which we knew they would do because they'd done this before. We know all their moves before they know it, by the way. We, the people, were way ahead of the game here. And then what happened is somebody from in the back of the room, I know exactly who it was, but she started saying over and over, you can't do that. Where's the rule? Where's the rule? Clint Hickman then reached over and whispered to Jack Sellers. Now, Clint Hickman is the former chairman of the Board of Supervisors. He's also the guy that's accused of burning ballots at his chicken ranch. He's also the guy that I believe is Jack Sellers' handler. Jack Sellers is the head of the Board of Supervisors. Clint, of course, reached over, and immediately Jack Sellers come out and he goes, adjourned. And they ran out of there. I'm telling you chronologically how it happened. Okay. When they ran out of there, then our team started saying, you're served, you're served, you're served. By the way, they had notaries, several notaries on there, 12 signatures. They are all in the back of the room. So they were panicking because they knew something was happening. Generally, everybody's in the front of the room. Not this time. Everybody was in the back room. That's why if you look at the film, it looks like nobody's there. It's because they were in the back. So you have to be very clear. This is how it worked. This is how it happened. In addition, then we're yelling at them, you're served, the serve. Then there started to be a ruckus, and they ran out, right? And then Mickey did her job. She did a wonderful job. She goes to the microphone, and she starts saying publicly to the people what's going on. And she tried to pull in kind of like a quorum, right? It was ineffective, but there's a reason why. Anyways, so she was, and then this guy comes over and trying to grab the mic from her, and she's like, no. And she's speaking to we the people, and she's telling me exactly what's going on. And she articulated it, Mickey articulated it perfectly, right? At that time, they were not served. And then when Mickey was saying whatever, they go, now we're going to go across the street and we're going to serve them officially. The idea is that they were going to serve there, but they ran out. So then they went across the street to the 10th floor. I know people said 7th floor accidentally. It was the 10th floor. And then they got served. That's what happened there. This was awesome. I don't fault Ann Vandersteel, but she put out a completely a post that was not the way it happened. And Mickey, as honorable as she is, she'll tell you that's not the way it happened either. This was a team effort. This team was working for over a year there, right? And Mickey came in and helped, and she did a wonderful job helping write that, or she wrote the writ, right? So everybody should be getting credit here. And this is really not about credit at all. This is we the people doing our job. So we're going to take it to the next level. You ready, guys? Here's what I'm asking anybody to do. Anybody that can find a way to get to Maricopa County on March 13th needs to be at that Board of Supervisors meeting. You will not know why. You're just going to have to trust. But if you, I will be there. So travel, meet us, have a good time, right? I'll be there for a few days, working on organizing some things with the team, so on and so forth. And it's going to be a powerful moment in history, in my belief. At minimum, even if that all falls apart, based on the work these Patriots are doing in Phoenix, I would say that everybody should find a way to get there, because where Phoenix goes, Maricopa County goes. Where Maricopa County goes, the state goes of Arizona. Where the state of Arizona goes, the country, the United States goes. Where the United States go, the world goes. This is how important Maricopa County is right now. So I'm asking people, this is your time. This is your time to stand up and support the real patriots on the ground, the grassroots patriots doing the work. End of my rant.
Maybe we have a meetup after that event for all the Patriots. Give them an additional reason to come out.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Great idea. See, what they play a game there, though, is they know that we the people like to organize and do stuff. So they very scattered with their meetings. They almost try to put their meetings one on top of another on top of another. So they're scattered, running around, and they don't want to miss one, because what they do is if they're writing some type of a law here, they'll push it over here, and they play games. It's all games. It's all games. And 4 of the 5 are Republicans. No, they're not. They're uniparty. This is the game that they play, right? Arizona is the epicenter of this. Now it's happening in other counties too. So we'll be doing a lot of work coming forward on those counties as well. I just need to set the record straight. And it's hard for me to get my voice out there, because for some reason, Lewis Herms and Screw Big Gov is so suppressed. I can put out more powerful information than somebody on Twitter, and that person gets 5 million views. I put out a video on January 7th with me and the Viking. It got 4.5 million views. Oh, wait. But not on my channel. Then it was not even reposted off of my channel. It was stolen. The video was copied, put on somebody else's channel, and they got the 4.5 million views. So we're being suppressed. That's great, actually. I'm not pissed off anymore about that. That just means that we're doing the work. Right?
Maybe we need to put together a social media army.
We have to do something.
Right. So here's what I'm thinking is, like, if Screw Big Gov is suppressed, right, because they know what to look out for, the AI or whatever is trained, the algorithms are trained on it. What if we had Joey G, for instance, take the video and post it on Twitter as an example, right?
And
he's not going to be banned.
Or everybody takes it, and maybe I can let people know ahead of time. Here it is. Grab it. Yeah.
Maybe I'll come to a private Telegram channel, and we post the content, and then we say, okay, post this on your socials on such and such a day, and everyone does it, and it gets the views it needs to get. They can't squash them all.
I think it's a wonderful idea, Robert. Yeah. I think it's an absolute wonderful idea. We'll create a private Telegram channel, and these are just for people that want to repost on all the platforms, Twitter, or I'm sorry, X, True Social, even Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever.
And you don't have to post it on your own account. You can make an account up with a fictitious name if you want to. It's just the hashtags, and we'll give you the hashtags to use. So then you could put those posts up, because it doesn't matter if you have 1 follower or 1 million followers. If you got the right hashtags, you're going to get a lot of views.
Mm-hmm. So, folks, whoever's watching and you want to do good work and start really fighting from a grassroots effort in your county, okay, I'm here to support you. So reach out via email to screwbiggov@protonmail.com. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I have 1,600 emails in my inbox. I will be going through them. My goal is to go through them between now and Monday. Okay, so it will be cleared. So I will be, instead of taking 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to get back to people, I'll be able to get back to them within a day. and I'm now working on getting some volunteers to help me with that also. So I've got your back. If it's a quick question, fantastic. Send it to me. I'll try to answer. If you want specific guidance and me to meet with somebody, all I say is please organize at least 10 people. Organize 10 people that I can talk to on a Zoom meeting at the same time. 10 people that are willing to fight back in your counties.
Yep.
If you can get 10 or more people, I will do a Zoom with you, and we'll give you some direction exactly the way I would recommend. These are only recommendations, but most of them are proven points, right? And it's I will tell everybody, it's a military type strategy, not using weapons. It's about an organizational tactics that we have to use. And from an operational standpoint, that's where I think we're failing all over the country. Our operational tactics are not very good.
Angels Among Us said she has 23 Facebook accounts. She's in. So thank you for everyone who's posting in the chat. We're seeing a lot of people want to join us and be part of the solution. So we're going to take the digital warrior, the digital fighter, game up a notch or two here. We want to get the word out as much as we can on all these topics. So, our main accounts may be banned, but you know what? If we've got a little army of people who are putting the content out, we'll win anyway.
All right. You want to call it what's the private? So it's Screwbig Social, SPG Social. Something easy?
Yeah, something easy.
Okay.
SBG Warriors.
SBG. How about SBG Deputies?
Deputies. Perfect. I love it. Yeah.
There we go. There it is, guys. Look at that. On air, you see. We figured it out. Robert's all about solutions.
Brainstorming in the middle of a broadcast. Hey, guys, I want to remind you, go over to screwbiggov.com. You want to find out what Lewis is up to. And we will put a link on screwbiggov.com for this project as well, with a quick description. You're not committed to doing every post that we put up, but certainly it would be a good thing to help us out. And not just us, really. It's really helping out we the people and really being a solution. So go over to screwbiggov.com. That's where you'll find it. And you can find me on Telegram if you look up Renegade Media. And Bruce's Unpopular Viewpoint. Bruce is normally the co-host today, but Lewis is kindly stepping in for him. And, I don't know which one's better looking. You like Bruce better or you like Lewis better? Which one's better looking? I don't know. They both use the spray.
Bruce for sure.
Bruce wins on that one, huh?
My vote for Bruce.
Okay. Hear ye, hear ye.
I do. We need audience participation right now. This is for my wife. Anybody on live? My wife's pet peeve is that I always wear my hat crooked. Is it crooked or straight? Are we good? Give me a thumbs up or a 5-5 if it's good. If it needs to work,
I can't believe you're saying that, because I get the exact same thing. Anytime I put on a baseball cap, people's like, it's always crooked. I'm like, what do you mean it's crooked? It feels straight to me.
So you know what I do to her, right? So it's so funny now. She says, your hat's crooked. I'm like, okay, honey, I'll fix it. And then when she turns around, I go, and she comes back and I'm like, oh my God.
You guys are insufferable.
There we go. It's back. I think it's pretty good, guys, right? We're good. Yes, we're good.
We're good.
Oh, somebody
they like
said
it.
Crooked. Somebody said buckshot. If you're saying crooked and everybody else is staying straight, I think maybe you need to turn your head.
That's right. Come on, Buckshot. You can do it.
This is Fun Friday.
Yes. Funny side up, we like to call it. This is an interesting video. This is, we're going here to number. So Trump's on the border. He's waving to the migrants coming across. And they're cheering him on. Donald Trump received cheers from migrants at the southern border. Go figure, who would have ever thought, right?
I don't know if they'll be cheering when they get bussed back to their home country.
That's right. You made it in, and Trump's president, goodbye. You're turning around, going right back.
Although, here's Trump's theory. And I'm not going to go down the Nasara route right now, guys, because I know we always like to jump off that cliff. But really quick, I think this is Trump's public theory, and it makes a lot of sense. If you can help make every other country great again, people would generally want to be in their home country.
Correct.
That's where they're comfortable.
Yep.
So we make what's the old saying? A strong fence makes a good neighbor, something like that, right? Same thing. We have a strong border. right? And we will help our neighbors prosper with trade or information or whatever it is, and then they become wonderful countries. And the reality is that I tell you, just cross the border south and you're already eating a higher quality food than you have in the United States already.
Yep.
Right? It's less toxins. And then you even go farther and then you go to El Salvador and you hear it's just incredible right now. So yeah, that's what Trump's theory is. So ultimately they will like him if they get back to their country and everything is going the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah, we have a lot on the border coming up here in the notes, so we're gonna go back into that in a minute. But yeah, really interesting to see it. I mean, basically, we're incentivizing them to come up right now, and we're going to talk about who's incentivizing them, how it's working. I have some clips on that. What we need to do is de-incentivize them. Right? There's no reason to come up here because your country's doing well. We're helping you. You got rid of your crime. You got rid of your corrupt government. If you're going to topple a government, instead of installing these WEF puppets, install somebody that people actually want. Like Brazil's a great example of that, right? They install Lula, and he's a WEF puppet. And he's doing things that the people don't want. We saw millions rise up last week there. They want Bolsonaro. Now, if you have a guy like that in, everyone's really happy. They're not trying to leave the country. They're like, they have what they want right there. And the country lays out the way it's supposed to for them. So really, that's what we need to do is we have to really, it's the whole cabal thing, right? The Khazarian mafia, the ones who are controlling all of this. That needs to be broken. And if we break that thing, then, we have a chance of putting the pieces back together again in some meaningful manner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe we are in March Madness. You and I talked about this earlier.
Yeah. No question.
We're here already.
Yep.
And it's going to be wacky. Hold on for the ride. Be prepared. Drink your Neumi, whatever it's going to take. This is a big month for we the people. And so there will be a lot of fear porn out there. Don't fall into it. Don't buy into it. Just get real. Like yesterday, people may have thought what we did with the border was fear porn. No, these are just facts. We're just trying to show you facts. We're not embellishing anything whatsoever. And then we're trying to show you how we're working on solutions. So if there are things that are happening that are bad, we always try to say, okay, what's the solution? How can we make a difference? Who? We the people. We're never, just to be clear, we are never reaching out to political figures anymore. It hasn't happened in a long time. They've come to us. We're like, nope, thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, a lot of them want to be on the show to get the exposure, but yeah, they're not standing up for we the people. No, thank you. Number 5 on our list, Elon Musk's Grok AI. Get this, what he's got planned here. This is really cool. Will have the ability to summarize lengthy laws before Congress leaks them through. What now? That's pretty cool.
So wait.
Yeah, exactly. Wait. What now? That's the right response, Lewis.
Oh, my Lord. I don't know what else to say. This has all got to be optics, right? This is crazy.
Well,
Wow.
Nancy Pelosi famously said, you want to know what's in Obamacare, you got to pass it to know what's in it. So it was a 10,000-page bill or something nobody read.
Mm-hmm.
So this AI apparently is designed to go through and summarize the whole thing and pick out all those little hidden clauses in there that would normally be missed.
This is scary. This is scary. I mean, oh my Lord! And we see it alone with the AI chat stuff going on now, where they'll say put in a president of the United States or white person or whatever, and it give them somebody black or somebody ethnic or somebody color, some guy wearing a dress. Who knows? It's all wacky right now.
Yep.
That's not the AI. That is definitely not the AI. That is the people that are programming it to tilt a certain way. So who would ever trust an AI that's going to summarize anything like that? I certainly wouldn't.
Well, this is provable, right? To know whether or not it's doing the right thing, because you can have the bill, you can have the summary, and then you could compare the two, right? with your own mind and see how far off it is. So that one, it would be a little bit hard to fake because somebody would be able to go through it, or maybe many people would be able to go through it and say, no, they got it wrong, or they got it right. We would know pretty quickly. They wouldn't be able to fake that one for too long.
Well, would they change it? That's the question. Or would they just, oh, we just blame it on the AI? We got the wrong information.
Yeah.
Sorry, a vote was already 67%, so we can't change it now.
Yeah, the other thing is are those bills put out in digital form? Usually they're printed, and they get these bills, and they're all nicely printed, and they've got nice covers on them. We spend way too much money on this. If they're sending out PDFs, okay, that's a different story, right?
Right.
So we'll see. I mean, you could get the bill and then just scan the thing in and let the AI digest it, I guess.
Yep. Hey, you're going to be happy. One of our favorite things. Thank you, Love's Frequency says, you guys are more authentic than all of the Pied Pipers out there. Thanks for being real. Well, that's so it's so funny. And we'll give them a little backdoor conversation behind closed doors. This is what Robert and I, at least once a week, we just remind each other. We need to be authentic.
Yep.
We need to be real. We need to only be here for we the people. So we talk about this constantly, and never do we disagree on that. And I'm sure we have disagreements on other things, but on authenticity, never is it even a question.
Yep. Because we both come from that, and it's just the fabric of who we are, and we just can't. We're not going to do it for the money. We're not going to lie to you. Hey, someone puts a big check in front of us, and hey, you guys, you got to say this, and that, and it's like, we'll give the check back. No, thank you. So. Investigative journalists firing sparks congressional inquiry into CBS News. This is Catherine Herridge, who is now being fined $800 a day for not disclosing her sources. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. Journalists have the right to free speech, right? That's the freedom of the press, as the First Amendment.
First Amendment, right?
They're not supposed to disclose their sources. That's their job, is to be apart from the government. They call it the Fourth Estate. Is that what it is? Or Fifth Estate? I forget which one it is.
Them disclosing is actually counter to the threat of the Constitution.
Correct.
The way it was written and the why it was written, it's counter to that. So I believe that judge is made another unconstitutional action, and that let's see how. Now, he did give a window in there that she can appeal.
30 days, yeah.
Yeah, which I was shocked, to be honest with you.
Yep.
But probably they knew how hard they probably would have been disbarred if they didn't do that, because they're already over the line, right? So they gave 38 days. I don't think it was to protect Catherine. It was to protect their ass. Right. I would have a feeling. But let's see how the appeals go. I want these things. In fact, I posted a little bit about this. I want all this stuff to go to the Supreme Court. It all needs to get to the Supreme Court, because what happens is, this is where you're going to find out if we're going in the right direction or not, based on their rulings. And
March, April, May, we're going to get the rulings in June.
Mm-hmm.
That's the next batch of rulings that'll come out from the Supreme Court. So we got a ways to go before we can get a sense for which side they're on.
Yeah, I would make sure everybody drinks a lot of water for the next 3 months. You get completely hydrated. Eat good food, exercise, do whatever you can, because there's going to be a lot of cortisol issues going up and down with stress because of what we're going to be seeing. But
yep.
in long run, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. There is definitely an attack, and we're going to talk about Steve Baker in a little bit here too, who was arrested by the FBI today for being there on January 6th. It's like there's an attack on journalists. And then there's a counter to that, which we'll talk about a little bit later, too. Number 3, Russian forces arrested a man for a planned attack on Tucker Carlson when he was in Russia.
Because of that at all. Number 1, he's harder to get to, right? So he may not even be on their list. Number 2, that would cause a problem that may cause a rise up bigger than you could possibly imagine. Mm-hmm. But Tucker, just based on the information, is actually he's getting more ears and eyes than President Trump. In fact, virtually every single mainstream media combined
Yep.
every time he does something. So,
Combined and then doubled, just to give
and
you an
then
idea.
double.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's
Yeah.
just insane.
So he's a force to be reckoned with
Yep.
right now. So for his sake and for our sake, because he's getting the word out, I hope that he is well protected.
I do too. He's putting a lot of great content out. He's doing some amazing interviews and really helping wake up a lot of people who, I call it the Fox News crowd. The Fox News crowd, they're kind of drowsy. They kind of know, but they don't really know because Fox News has not been teaching them. But a lot of those people followed Tucker over at X and now the Tucker Carlson network, and they're still following him. And now they're being what now? And all the stuff that he couldn't talk about on Fox, he's like got total freedom now. Go anywhere you want. Elon told him just do whatever you want to do. Which fantastic, right? That's what we need right now more than anything.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep, agreed.
Calls to shut down Google's Gemini after the chatbot refused to say if Hitler or Elon Musk is worse.
It wouldn't give them an answer.
Wouldn't give an answer. What it wouldn't answer what is a woman either. Please explain what is a woman. It wouldn't. It said it's too complicated a thing to answer.
Well, it is if you go to Google. So this is what my wife's, I think it's her number one wake up tool now. It's crazy. So she'll have people, again, she's a hairdresser for you that don't know. And she'll have them in their chair and she literally does this. How many genders are there? and they're like, 2. She goes, "Oh, really? Do you think Google would know how many genders there are?" She goes, "Absolutely." She types in Google, "How many genders?" 72. And they're like, "What?" And then it opens. Remember I said that we always have to kind of crack the door on these people?
Yep.
This is what she does. She has so many little things on her phone and things to show people. So she just cracks that door open. Now, as soon as they go, "What? That's not true." And then she reads it to them, right? Now they're opening up. They're like, "What?" He goes, "You don't even know how you're being lied to."
Yeah.
And then they start paying attention. You would not believe how many people are coming back to her and thanking her. And they are waking up in droves. Folks, it is getting fun.
Doesn't it strike you as interesting that 72 genders and 72 virgins?
Yeah, I know.
It's a strange number. Why we pick 72? Why not 73, 74, 71? 72.
Exactly.
So 7 and 2 is a 9. Carol, what's a 9?
I'm gonna adjust my computer. I don't know what it is. I've never seemed to be centered. There we go. Now I could sit like a normal person instead of sideways.
The Pentagon is investigating over 50 cases of patients. Oh, they investigated themselves, did they? And they gave the all clear. How is that even possible, Lewis? How? Would you please tell me how this works?
This started when Trump was in office, actually, where companies would start investigating themselves and come out with the findings. And back then I would go, are we really seeing this? Right? So, okay. So here's the thing. We have to go down to the crux to who they are.
Right.
These people are deceivers and liars. That's how they get themselves in the mess in the first place. So what does a liar generally do in order to get out of something? Creates a bigger lie. And a bigger lie. And then another deception. And a bigger lie. And finally, nobody believes them. The house of cards comes down and it's over. Well, that's what we're dealing with. We're just dealing with it on a grand scale right now.
Yeah.
But I love it, actually. I love it because, like you've said before, the We the People media are exposing within hours, sometimes minutes, when things come out now on virtually every social media platform, and they just don't know what to do. They look like just buffoons. In fact, here's the proof of it. So a post came out about right? The first 8 responses were all in agreement. So they were followers or they were plants, right?
Right.
Every single spot after that, hundreds of them, were all correcting the record. All of it was correcting the record. So it tells you exactly how it works, right? They get their little group of followers or There are people that are already paid to make a good comment. Boom, 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 8 in a row, and then everything after that, hundreds of them were correcting the record. They just an onslaught of we the people. Like I don't even have to work anymore, really. I'll just go like this. All right, guys, go get them.
Go get them.
You know what I mean? Because the digital warriors are just they're so much faster than I am. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Amazing.
And, and we put this digital warrior, group together, we're going to have a lot of power in our hands too. And I know there's an app coming out at some point too that's going to help with that.
Yeah, I've heard about that app.
I heard about that app. I like it.
It's actually being tested right now. In fact, there's a bunch of feedback on it that I haven't got to in 2 days. So, folks, if you're testing the app right now, I will absolutely get to that this weekend also. Somebody has a good question in chat.
Really? I'm gonna do this while you answer that question then. Whew.
Okay.
So much better. So much better. I had to clean off all of that stuff, get it out of my system here.
Right. So every time Robert sees me, he doesn't know. As soon as I turn around, he goes like this. So he's cleansing himself from whatever conversation I just had with him.
You know what? All they need to add in here is a little bit of that sage, and we'd have the perfect formula, right? This is Neumi Skin. For those of you who don't know what we're doing, if you're new to the channel, the product we support and really love. This is a glutathione product, and what it does, it helps with oxidative stress and why you get the wrinkles and the aging spots and all the rest of that. And it really helps reverse a lot of that, which is really kind of nice. You see the before and after pictures on their website. It's pretty phenomenal to see what a great job it's doing. Tightens up the skin, lightens the skin. Ladies are getting to the point where they don't actually need the makeup or as much of the makeup, and some are going with no makeup at all, which is fantastic because makeup is full of what now?
Toxins.
Ooh, lots of toxicity in the makeup because it is not regulated. This is another industry where the industry regulates itself.
By the way, I hate when Robert asks me questions, folks, because I never have the answer ready. Never. I got it today. I'm literally, if my arms needs to pat myself on the back, I got
job.
one. I passed the test.
And this is the Nutri-Swish. This one goes in your mouth and you swish it around. And Lewis, we had Steve Scott on the other day, and he said something really fascinating, that people's gums get healed with this and they grow back, which is just like, whoa. But it makes sense because glutathione is a very, very powerful tool for your body, is healing, and it goes right into your blood system. Sublingual, goes under your tongue, swish it around for about 2 minutes, swallow the rest, and it gets right to work where it is needed most, and helping your body deal with the oxidative stress from the daily life that we lead. And boy, oh boy, is it getting challenging out there. And then finally we have Neumi Hers. This is for the ladies. This helps with that time of the month and helps with hot flashes and mood swings and all those weird, strange things that go on every 28 days, as you know. And this one is the one ladies are raving about this. And they say the hot flashes go away. Just swish a couple of capfuls in your mouth and the hot flashes are gone within minutes. Premenopausal, postmenopausal. Yeah, it's a great tool. So the link to this is in the description. Depending on which channel you're on, it's going to be a different link. There's one for Lewis on Lewis's channel, one for me on my channel. And if you do decide to take a deeper look and decide to purchase it, know that you are supporting our show, and we appreciate that. And we appreciate Neumi for allowing us to do this. They're big fans of ours, and great company to work with. We know the people who run it, and patriots all. So thank you for that.
Yeah, they're awesome. It's, you know how symbiotic we are, the way we think. Sometimes you didn't even know that somebody told me this morning that her lips, I mean, not her lips, her gums have been bleeding for years and years and years. And she says the only thing she did different is add Neumi. I'm like, I'm hearing that a lot.
Yep.
So that's interesting you bring it up. I just heard that this morning.
Yeah, it was really interesting because, I've been having gum problems for years too. I'm a little too aggressive with the toothbrush, according to the dentist. So yeah, but this has really made a big difference. There's no more bleeding. There's no more anything. It's like, I was looking at them this morning after I heard Steve Scott said, let me check, let me see. Like, whoa, they do look better. You don't notice it sometimes because it happens gradually. It's not an overnight thing. But certainly I could see the difference in my own gums.
So real quick, here's
Yeah.
the question up here.
Hmm.
It's Deplorable Freedom Fight says, "Hey Lewis and Robert, can you tell me why it is taking 2 weeks for the judge in the Georgia case if Fannie and Wade should be disqualified? What the hell?" Okay. So this is sad, but here's the way it works. Even with good judges, unfortunately, if there's a ruling that is going to have it's going to be major disruption, right? So it's not that they're right now trying to figure out which way to rule. They probably already know where they're going to rule. In this case, I would say it's not that they're holding off to see who gives them the best offer, because they do that also.
Right.
They'll hold off and find out where whoever I'm going to get the best bribe from, that's the way I'm going to go. Yes, judges do that. I don't think that's the case here. What I believe it could be is if there's ever going to be a major disruption in something like this, and a judge has to put their name to it, what they're doing is they're trying to strategize for the fallout after the
Yep.
disruption. I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm just saying it's plausible, but that's what's going
If they
on.
take Fannie Willis off this case, 26 cases get thrown out. It's
Yep.
massive.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's huge. It's a big
So
deal.
yeah, and he's probably looking for, okay, where's my bunker going to be? When I rule,
Oh,
whatever I rule, right?
the
Because no
deep
matter
states
which way
are,
he goes,
and
he's in trouble.
deep states already threatened them. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
They've already threatened them.
Yep.
So, it's how, and it may be how he's strategizing for his own safety, like
That's
you're
what I'm
saying.
thinking. I'm really feeling that that's what's
There's
going on.
you have to figure out what the fallout is going to be and the ramifications of these type of decisions.
Yep.
It's sad that we live in a country that's even a discussion, where a true and honest judge can't just rule and be fine. A true and honest judge needs to, what's that? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They need to be looking out for themselves, and it's sad, but it is the way it
Well,
is.
even the judges on the Supreme Court are threatened too. And you wouldn't think that would be the case. They're supposed to be
Yep.
the judicial branch, the top level of everything, and they're threatened constantly as well. And that's why they're in hiding most of the time. They don't do anything except behind closed doors, right? And a lot of these rulings that they've come down with, you can see recently. I've never seen this before. So many of these rulings, nobody signs them.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Isn't that interesting?
It's really interesting. They're not signed by anyone, so they're just here's the ruling from the court, and you don't know who did it. We're not going to tell you.
Yeah, the court.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Who runs the border is the question that we're going to answer here, which is I was a little bit surprised by this morning. And Lewis, I want your take on this more than anything. I'm going to play this video from Oscar Ramirez here. And I looked this up. I thought this was kind of interesting. So we'll talk about it. Let's play the video.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it?
Well,
So,
this International Organization for Migration under the UN was the thing that really caught my attention more than anything.
right. And what I'm curious about though is who from this side of the United States, inside of it, are making these decisions and signing it. Because outside forces could do anything they want. Constitutionally, they have no jurisdiction over us whatsoever. We saw that when the World Health Organization, then people were crying. I go, guys, there's no teeth to it. Don't worry about it. Blah, 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 blah. And I keep saying, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. And people are so freaked out by that. And sure enough, it turns out they have no authority over us
Right.
whatsoever. So the question is, who is giving the authority to them? Do you have any idea on that?
This was done in 2017 under Trump, and it was 195 nations that signed on to this compact. Now, it's not binding, but it is a compact, and the whole idea was that they would lead a system of migration. They call it regular migration. So
Right. No,
the migration is supposed to happen, continually happen. They're supposed to be paid. They're supposed to be allowed in. They're supposed to be given food, shelter, all the rest of that. And you see that's what's going on here because we're following that UN compact.
and do you know which secretary signed off on that
I
by chance?
don't know it. That would
Okay.
be interesting to find out. But I did go to
The
the
reason
UN
why
site.
reason why I ask is even it. I think Trump had insurrectionists on his team that they may have been planted there in
Yeah.
on purpose, right? But clearly, if that got signed, he still had 3 years to undo it and didn't, right?
Well, as Oscar said, it was signed behind closed doors. A lot of people didn't even know it was signed.
You would think it would have come to the attention of President Trump, but who knows? I mean, I I'm battling right
One
now.
guy, a nation with a billion things going on every day, could it slip through the
I,
cracks? Yeah.
well, I was just going to say though, I'm battling with some people on Trump's team that I think are making really bad decisions right now.
Hmm.
And I was under the impression that he knew exactly what was going on a few months ago, and now I'm under the impression, and I've said this publicly, I think he has some rogue actors that he's relying on still. And well, I get it because the deep state is so deep,
Yeah.
and hopefully his top team recognizes them quickly and get boots them out of there pretty quickly because that can be detrimental to everything that we do. And that's the only chance that the deep state has. They're not going to be able to prevent we the people from rising up, right? So what I believe they're trying to do now is at every level circumvent we the people and counter President Trump ahead of time, right? So I believe they already know that he's going to be back in office. So they're going to seed his team with which is many traitors as they possibly can.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't really realize the UN connection was so deep here, but it makes sense now. Now you can understand why the
Oh,
Border Patrol is doing what they're doing. They're under this directive, and understanding why we're paying so much. And Oscar was talking about, the situation in Panama, the processing centers that the U.S. is paying for down there, where we're grabbing these migrants, sticking them on airplanes, and flying them right into the interior of the United States. We're not even seeing those people at the border because the counting's happening at the border. But how many people are flying over, and in many
yeah,
cases under with the tunnels, and how many people are
right.
coming in via ship? Where I was in Carlsbad, the police there had heard about it. What I found was it's because they're coming. The drug smugglers are coming. They're landing there, landing ashore there. So they have these people, heavily armed people, that are coming in, coming in off the ocean, come up from Mexico, and they pull it. They go up a little further in San Diego, and that's when they come in. So I'm like, whoa, we didn't realize it was there, but it apparently happens regularly.
Well, I exposed in the movie Cages, if you remember, also that there's an airport near Mesa, Arizona, that is immune from customs. Go
Wow,
figure that. And you can fly right in from another country south of the border, right in there. There's no customs checks whatsoever.
wow,
Now, I
wow.
have had some private reports that I'll say publicly here now that there are good guys that are fixing that problem, and they're fixing that problem with weapons. Let's just say that. So there is a fight going on, folks, which is that's the good news.
I like Ben's comments here this morning. Ben and Oscar were this morning outside of a base in, I believe it was in Panama, that was an American military base that we apparently handed over to the UN. And they said, they were there and they wanted to film from there, and they said, absolutely not. You're not allowed to film there. And Ben just,
We do. Screw you.
better, huh?
Well, that is exactly the mantra that's rising up throughout the country right now.
Yeah, he's picking
And
up
I'm
on it.
and it's absolutely beautiful that he's doing it
Yep.
because everybody needs to start saying the same thing. These people, and I was correctly corrected the other day when I said they are employees, and somebody said no, they are our servants, and I think they're right because it is as it says on Remember Your Oath, it's civil servants,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
They are supposed to be serving us, but yet they are dictators. It is exactly the opposite. So we need to continually remind them who's boss over and over and over again. And it's all you have to do is stand up in strength. You'll be shocked. Just go see what's going on in Maricopa County at the Board of Supervisors on the last probably three sessions. Be there on March 13th, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. These people are cowering under the pressure. We knew they would. We've been patient. We've been working diligently in many cities doing this stuff, and they're starting to fall, and it's fun. It is fun, fun, fun. They cannot take the pressure anymore.
No, and yeah, the more we stick together, and that's the whole thing. It's like you said it right. I mean, we have the passion, we have the desire, we just missing the organization. And if we have the organization, then we're going to be an unstoppable force.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Well,
President
well,
Trump was in Florida. You have something before we jump?
I'm just blown away how many trolls are trying to get into our chat and study the beast. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about,
Yep.
be very interesting.
So that was Fort Pierce, Florida. They were cheering President Trump on his way to court in his latest hearing on the Jack Smith case. This is Julie Kelly on X. She says at the outset, Judge Cannon stated the special counsel's new proposed trial schedule, May 20 trial date, will be vacated, leading to a trial date of July 8 is unrealistic, given at least 13 outstanding motions and intense SIPA litigation, special guidance on the handling access to classified evidence before and during the trial. So thousands of documents they have to go through, yada, yada, yada. There's no way this is going to happen. Another issue is Alvin Bragg's prosecution of Trump later this month. The trial is expected to begin March 25th and last between 6 to 8 weeks. They can't get that done sooner. Interrupting Trump's ability to attend any court proceeding in Florida for almost 2 months. When Smith's team tried to blame Trump attorney Chris Kise for taking on both the Bragg case and the classified docs case and argued his work schedule related to both matters should not preclude the Florida trial from moving forward, Judge Cannon reminded the DOJ that right to access all court proceedings doesn't apply to lawyers, but to the accused. The Jack Smith case, it looks like it's falling apart. It looks like now at the earliest that it'll be heard will be late August.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So some they're saying won't be heard until after November.
Yep.
So, in your opinion, are there any cases against Trump right now that aren't falling apart?
No. Every single one of them's got challenges.
Yeah, there's even one that will most likely, if it's done correctly, end up in disbarment and the arrest of
Fannie
and her bud.
Fannie and her stud. Oh boy, that didn't sound good.
Fenner, stud and Fanny in the same thing. It sounds like this is gayporn.x or something.
Oh,
don't go there.
Your guys
No,
have tuned
Robert.
into the wrong channel.
Yeah.
Federal agents were arresting Steve Baker. I think he works for the Blaze. And we kind of saw that coming because he was told, I think last week, that he had to show up. And here are the charges. They wouldn't tell him the charges until after they arrested him. He had to turn himself in, so he did that this morning. The charges are knowingly entering or remaining in a restricted building or grounds. This is on January 6th. Disorderly and disruptive conduct in a restricted building or grounds. And number 3, parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building.
Wow.
He's a journalist. He's a journalist. He was there documenting the event. Now, just like the Catherine Herridge thing, they're going after the journalists, which is what they do in communist countries.
That's exactly what they do. Thank you very much. Yep. That's exactly what they do in communist countries. Yep. Interesting enough, there was a communist journalist there, right? Mm-hmm. John, what's his name? John Legend? I'm joking. Anyways, and he's from Antifa, and he was claimed to be a journalist, so they only gave him a few days and said, okay, have a nice time.
Yep.
Go bye-bye. Amazing.
You know who was never charged?
Who was never charged?
Mike Pence.
What am I missing here?
Why was he the only one out of Trump's inner circle, that they didn't go after? They didn't go after him.
I see what you mean.
Right?
Yeah.
They didn't go
after
after
that. I thought you
guy.
meant for being in the Capitol, and I was like, I don't get it. Of course,
he should be in the Capitol. That was his role, but he didn't do his work when he was there in the Capitol.
Right. Yeah. Of course, he wouldn't be the only one charged. Well, he was in collusion. He even got his little Freemason coin at the end of doing his job.
Yep. So, if you ever had any doubt that Pence was not on our side, not on our team, there's really the answer for you. He's the only one that the FBI has not harassed, in Trump's inner circle.
Yeah, if you ever want to have any more doubt, Pence is on his side. Why don't you go study his actions in Indiana?
Yep.
I'm just saying. I mean, let's dig. If you want to go on Pence, go deep,
Yeah, and
right?
well, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, you want to dig into that. Don't go deep on Pence. No.
Oh, no. Robert's in all the bad jokes today. Watch out for him.
Okay, so we're building here because the federal agents arrest Steve Baker for covering January 6th protests. Look at the timing on this one. This is the next story in the list here. And let's see if we can build a little bit of a narrative here. What are you reading? House Speaker Johnson announces what now? 5,000 more hours of January 6th footage being released.
Oh.
Why now? Why today? Okay, what's going on here?
Yeah. Obviously, the plan was to get those 5,000 out, and that's why they got the journalist.
Or was it the other way around? They got the journalists, and now he's saying, okay, well, we've got the tapes,
You
the
think it's
additional
tit
video.
for tat?
Yeah, the additional video equal to roughly 208 straight days of viewing. Our show isn't quite a 208 days long, just so you know.
We'll play
It's
it.
being released by the House Administrative Oversight Subcommittee. There seems to be more video in addition to what is being released Friday today, with the Administration Committee vowing to continue to release the remaining footage online as expeditiously as possible so that it's accessible to every American. Some of the new video is previously released video that was blurry and re-uploaded because they did it wrong in an attempt to make the images clearer. Today's decision will significantly expedite CCTV, closed-circuit television footage releases, all of which will be made available to the American public within the next few months without blurring or editing. The first batch is already available on our, what now? Rumble page.
Yep. Okay, so real quick though, isn't it they've only released 10 or 15,000 total right now, right?
Very, very little, yeah.
And there's over 44,000 hours, I
Yep.
believe. That the question should be why? If they could grab it that quickly, why couldn't they release it that quickly?
Well, they're going to release it over the next 8 months.
Yeah. So it just doesn't make any sense. Why slow roll it? Because they're going through every freaking minute of that video and trying to see if there's somebody that they need to protect that they'll wipe or remove that video from us.
Yep.
Unless they can tell me another reason. And I don't care if President Trump said we're holding it and releasing it over 8 months. I just said, who are you trying to protect? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And people need to start thinking this way.
Yep.
This is don't ever believe them. Number one, we're done with ever believing what's coming out of their mouth. Doesn't matter what party they're in. You cannot believe them. Right now you should be saying, why does it take you this long to release them? Why are you slow rolling these out? Well, it's very clear because they want to sanitize them.
Well, the timing is very curious to me because Mike Johnson is getting his ass whipped because he put another continuing resolution through, which he said he would not do.
Right. Maybe, God, how sinister would this be? Maybe they have a whole bunch of sections of 5,000 because then that gives them about 7 to 8 different opportunities to throw this out every time they have to appease the public. How sinister would that be?
Yep. Well, this is my thinking because the next video here is the next story. So Steve Baker turned himself in to the FBI, and this afternoon he's out. I turned my volume down.
Okay.
Okay. So here's my question for you. This morning he gets arrested. Then Mike Johnson releases 5,000 hours of video, which, by the way, if you uploaded 5,000 hours of video, it would not be released the same day. So they already had it. They just made it available.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So Mike Johnson's got two reasons because he's getting his ass whooped on the continuing resolution, and the journalist gets arrested. So they put this video out, and then they release him, and they give him a court date somewhere in the future after the video comes out. Convenient, isn't it?
Yeah. What's your theory?
Well, I'm thinking that they heard this video coming out, and they said, "Oh, we're going down the wrong path. We better let this guy go."
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take this down another road, and this is what I do. So I'm watching this guy, and I have no ill will towards him. He may be great. He may be a total patriot. I have no idea.
Right.
I I'm seeing a lot of beta males out there that are pleading their case on why they're a victim, right? If I'm sorry, if you lock me in chains and you could put me naked in the public, the first thing I'm not going to say is I was humiliated. I've never been so humiliated in my life.
Right.
I'm like, I'm pissed. These people are going down. I'm taking action. They're a bunch of perverts. I mean, I would go off, right?
You'd be more like
We're,
Steve Bannon's reaction. That was his reaction.
yeah. So this beta male bullshit that I'm seeing from these people is why we're here. And sorry, dude. You could be a wonderful dude, and I'm not trying to think, but with the first response out of your mouth is you're a victim. I'm a beta. I'm humiliated, and I just don't know what to say. This is just horrible. I'm like, what is that? What your attorneys came up with for you to say? Say this is absolutely ridiculous. This is unconstitutional.
Yeah.
This is treasonous. Those are the type of words that should have been coming out of his mouth. And I'm sorry, but this beta male bullshit is what got us here.
It's what's keeping us here.
That's what's keeping us here, right? Only the women, not only. There's men that are fighting now, and are very proud of them. It's sad that I have to say I'm proud that men are fighting. You know what I mean?
Right.
They should have been fighting all along, but the women are doing most of the work. My point with this, though, is, and you're right, it's why we are here today and what we're struggling with. These men need to step up like freaking men and stop being these half-witted soy boys. It just blows me away. I know that's not the response anybody wanted. They probably wanted me to lick the palm of this guy and say how amazing he is and he's a total true hero. He could be. I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying I'd like to see more strength from somebody in that position.
I think whatever happened to him shocked him enough, and that is the kind of a shock response. But you're right; he should be a little bit, he should be fighting back a little bit. There'd be a little bit more fire in his belly. I didn't see any fire there.
You would think it's the end of your country, bro.
Yeah,
not just you.
Not just you. And how about the other January 6th prisoners who've been rotting in prison for 3+ years now?
Right.
Right.
That didn't get released right away.
Didn't get released and are still not going to be released. And one of them, I think, got 22 years behind bars. It's just crazy.
Yep.
All right. So good news out of University of Florida today. Yay. They fired all the staff and positions related to diversity, equity, and inclusion effective immediately.
Well, we predicted that just last week, didn't we?
Yep.
Yep. We said you're going to start seeing these businesses either getting rid of their DEI or they're going to go out of business.
They had a $5 million budget for them. $5 million.
We are prognosticators right here on SBG News and Views.
Yeah, so the University of Florida had a $5 million budget, and they said they're going to redirect the funds now to really supporting the students.
Well, let's hope they do. But
let's hope they do.
Whatever. So I'm very happy about this.
Yep.
A lot of ass jokes today, guys. Sorry about that. Robert started.
Hey, something we told you about a long time ago. The CDC is now confirming it's official. So all the bullshit we went through was for the flu.
Oh, guys, this is fun times. This is fun times. Are you still in your top 10?
No, we're long past the top 10. Yeah.
We're on the top 30 right now.
Yeah, this is just craziness, right?
This is wacky. It's awesome, but it's wacky. But people are waking up. I mean, it's so funny. So, my wife was doing something, and I had to walk through her salon to grab something, right? And I heard a lady reading, and I think it was on more than gender or something. I don't know what it was. She was reading out loud to my wife. She was under the hairdryer, and she says, "So, Araceli, ba 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 ba." And I'm like, wow, she is on it. She's seeding these conversations, and now they're coming back to her with information. It's awesome.
Yep.
Guys, we are winning on every front. And for those of you who still have your family and your friends, your small circle that aren't there yet, Take a deep breath. I get it, but they'll come around.
Yep.
Many of
They
them
will.
come around. Some that you don't. I had two daughters disown me. They claim they'll never come around. I'm done forever. I mean, changing their last names. I know one of them has a wedding coming up, and I'm not invited. In fact, it's supposed to be top secret, but I know about it. All that bullshit. Guess what? I'm not even upset because I know that they're going to come around. When the truth comes out, there's going to be a lot of people going, "Whoa, what did I do?"
Yep.
And you watch, people will come around. It may not be quick enough for you, and I get it, but it's happening, and it's happening in droves. It's going to be so big that it will encompass your family and your friends too. So hold on, guys. Hold on to the truth because that's what matters.
So part of my mission in this lifetime is going to be being on the rebuilding team. What the heck does that mean? Well, all of this is going to fall apart around us, right? And there are going to be a lot of lost souls. People are not going to know which way to go. And I had this conversation with Laura Worley last week too, and she's 100% on board with that. After it all falls apart, we're going to have a lot of zombies. They're going to be in shock. They won't know where to go. And we're going to have to put things back together. We're going to have to put the pieces of these people back together again. And that's going to be a big part of my mission going forward. You know, using my coaching skills and all the stuff that I've learned along the way and my life experience and really understanding everything that's going on. And Lewis is part of that team too. And if you look at where it's going to land, you know, it could be later this year. It could be, you know, by the time August, September rolls around, we're on the other side of a lot of the worst of it because it's coming out so quickly. Like I said, I couldn't even keep up today, and I don't have a problem keeping up with the news. But today, the pile was so tall, I never made it to the top. So it's falling apart, and when it falls apart, when it gets to the other side, you know, all of us who are on the leading edge, and that includes many of you here watching today, is the same thing. Our work's going to be putting the pieces back together for these people.
Yeah. I agree. And folks, we're already working on it. I just did a video for my friends Greg and Jaron and their event, and I'm going to release that publicly probably this weekend. And it's on limitless and how to fail forward. Nothing that we really talk about here, but this will help position people in order to move forward in their life and without fear. So there's good things to come, and Robert and I are going to work on a lot of stuff like that. A lot.
I have a very happy kitty at home. That makes me happy. I wake up every morning to this guy.
That cat was named after a rabbit, wasn't
he? No, he was named Thumper because that's how we found him. I was sitting in my living room one day and I heard this thud at the door, and he was just a little kitten, but he was so scrawny and hungry. Apparently whoever owned him before either got lost or he didn't feed him or who knows what. And he just kept doing it. And it's like, finally I opened the door. I'm like, what the heck? And I look and there's this little cat. So I fed him and he never left. He just kept coming back for more. So we've had him now since 2011. So yeah, he's got a lot of energy now. He's like a kitten. He's gotten, I kid you not, he's gotten 5 gophers this week. 5.
That's incredible at his age.
At his age, that is just unheard of because normally at this age, they stop. They stop hunting. They just, you know, lounge around and they wait for you to feed them. Not this guy. He's bounded full of energy. It's amazing. So what we've been doing, we've been feeding him the super sauce from Pets 24/7, Pet Club 24/7, I should say. And it really changed the outlook. We thought this guy was done. We thought, you know, we thought for sure by, you know, Monday, Tuesday of that week, we were going to put him down and started giving him the food, and he completely turned around. Now, I want to let you know, because we talk a lot about animals being sick. You know, you wait till your animal gets sick to give him good food, right? You give him good food so he doesn't get sick. Now, prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? And that's what you want to be able to do. So Pet Club 24/7 is what we encourage you to have a look at. They have a mushroom that's in the food that really helps with a lot of ailments. Plus, the food is full of nutrition. It's not made from the garbage that the commercial food's made of. Even the organic stuff. Not so great. A lot of fillers in there and that kind of thing that aren't really good for your animals. So they have cat food, dog food, and they have supplements as well for the humans. What do you know about the human stuff, Lewis?
It's pretty awesome. I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. So the human stuff on Pet 24/7, Pet Club 24/7 is amazing. And it's, you kind of can't talk about it because it has such phenomenal results. I will tell you though, um, the reason why it became part of their, how do we say it, their volume of products they have, if you click on the button human, is because of the work that it did with the C word and phenomenal results that they saw, just blew them away. And that was a must. And this is for humans. And then I can tell you there's a nice salve I've used before, so I don't know if it was that or not, but I can tell you it had a burning sensation, and she applied that just for a few days, and she's diligent. She's like, honey, did you do it? I'll get out of bed. Let me go do it. And but it's gone. So there's a lot of great other products on there that, you just click on the button humans, that will blow your mind.
So along the top of the website, you're going to see cats, dogs, and then humans will be the third option, and you'll find it there. The link is in the description below. There's a different link for Lewis as there is for me. If you're on Renegade Media today, you'll find it there. If you're on Screw Big Gov, you'll find the link in the description there as well. So, and again, this is a company that we did a lot of due diligence on, and it was a long time before we said, hey, we're okay promoting it. And after I saw what it did to Thumper, and Lewis saw what it did for his dogs, we're sold. We're absolutely sold on it. And, thank you.
Oh my gosh, Staples has Staples.
Oh, I get it. Oh, that is good. That is a WTF moment right there.
That is a WTF moment to top all WTF moments,
That is classic. Good job.
Tires. It's not how that works.
Okay. Kaylee, let me tell you what I hate about that. Is instead of videotaping, they should have said, hey, dude.
Yeah, right, exactly.
and said, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But they knew they'd rather have a viral video and somebody crush the bed of his truck and possibly harm people to get that viral moment.
Hey, that's the way it is today. People see an accident, they pull out their camera.
Yeah, disgusting.
Yeah.
And it's like, if somebody would have showed me that video, like, oh, look at the video I just took, I would have scolded them quickly. Yeah. Would have slapped that phone right out of their hand.
Oh, brother.
I
hear you.
don't condone violence, by the way, unless I'm the one conducting it.
No, we don't condone violence at all, but some things are just too crazy out there. So we've come to the end of our great Friday show. Sadly, the week is just, I can't believe it. The week felt like 15 minutes. I woke up this morning and I said, maybe it's Wednesday, right? No, it's Friday. I'm like, what do you mean
it's Friday? It's freaking Friday.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
Real quick, somebody was asking that they stepped away for a second. What products were we talking about? Where's the website? The description, it should be in the description. It's Pet Club 247 on whatever channel you're watching.
Right. It'll say food for your pets or something like that will be in the description. You'll see it. There's only our descriptions only have 1 or 2 links in there now. We trimmed it down. We were having way too many links, I think, at some point. So yeah, we made it easier. Big plans for the weekend, my friend?
Honestly, this is a work weekend for me. So I've got to get through those emails. I feel really bad for anybody that's emailed me. I apologize. I know some of them are probably as much as a month old. It is what it is. So I'll try not to get sidetracked with phone calls and putting out fires in different places and doing this, but I'll do my best in the next 3 days to get through those for people. So that's primarily what my focus is.
Cool. I've got a lot of home projects to do, which I am looking forward to getting to. It's been stuff that's been dragging on since the move that we need to get settled out, and maybe I'll actually organize the living room because things are just piled up in there. It's like I can't use the couch. There's stuff all over it. I'm like, it'd be nice to have a little bit of space in there. So
yeah, you and Phoebe have been very busy in your transition.
We really have been, and
Not that transition, everybody.
trying to maintain an 18-acre ranch at the same time as trying to organize the house. We have a complete outbreak of gophers this year like we've never seen before, and they're just tearing up everything. So, yeah, that's been a lot of the focus is how do we alleviate the gophers? So we brought in a couple of people to set traps for us, and I've been setting traps, and then we got Thumper. He's out there catching some gophers too. Yeah, he's better than it's 5-1. He's got 5 this week. I got 1. I'm not doing too good.
See? You need to get more cats.
Thumper needs a few friends, right?
That's right.
All right, you go over there. I'm going over this way. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We'll be back here Monday with another SBG News. Have a great weekend.
I will try to get that positive video out there soon.
Awesome. Thank you all.